Yes, I don't know where you're watching us from. I can say a very good morning, a very good afternoon, and a good evening, AM and PM. I might say I'm very humble and privileged to interview one person that, I mean, everyone who understands music as, I mean, is not as a passion, as life, everything that goes to do with music, the rudiments of music, the skills to music. I think that there are some people that we need to get closer to them to tap into the knowledge of what they've learned over the years, and they can transcend them to the generation, the young ones coming out there. So today I want to say a big shout out to my brother Test. Test is a rapper, and so he introduced this man to me that, hey, I think that there's something that you can tap from him and also give it to the rest of the world, especially Ghanaian kids out there who want to really delve into music. So I came all over East Legon to have a chat with the man himself, Mr. Freeman, who is a voice trainer, voice coach, a musician, instrumentalist. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming.
You're looking good. I mean, you have that aura of a musician.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, after 25 years in music, I guess you can't run away from some things, right?
Of course. Now let's just go straight to business. For those of the people watching who don't know you briefly, I mean, second, tell us who you are.
That's the hardest thing for me to do.
I know, right? But just briefly. Because I know there's a tall list of history, but
yes. I'm a voice coach. I think I'm most popular as a voice coach who has worked on most of the reality shows in Ghana. In fact, I think I'm the only voice coach that has worked on every reality show brand in Ghana, from Mentor through Stars of the Future, Voice Factory, Airtel Trace, Hitmaker, Vodafone Icons, all of them.
Now, you've gathered a lot of experiences throughout when you were growing up to your status now. What made you stand out?
I would say consistency and the hunger to be always better. Somebody asked me once, what's your greatest motivation? I say, people who don't like to be better. They remind me not to be like them. So I want to be better, always.
Now, our music industry, I realized that a lot of people don't have music background, as in the theory side of music. When you go to the Western world, people like Jay-Z, Weezy, P. Diddy, these guys can read music. These guys have time for rehearsals. But these days, a lot of people now come out, they call themselves musicians, but they lack the rudiment of music. What's your advice for young ones who really want to take music as their career?
The truth of the matter is, not everybody can read music, but everybody can learn to interpret music. And that's what I advise. I remember the first time I started asking questions around. Some people would be like, oh, it's expensive to have a live band, to gather instruments and so on and so forth. But if you look around now, there are a lot of instruments around. Some of us are back home. We're here trying to teach you how to learn. I think the attitude has to change. There's a big fear with a lot of artists, especially when they have gained some kind of popularity. They become afraid to learn. And the biggest problem with that is you find yourself soon going around in one circle. In fact, eventually you become bored by yourself, because you have nothing new to offer. And that's why a lot of them are dying off very quickly. I call them disposable artists. And most of our artists are disposable because after they do 1, 2, 3 hits, then everything else sounds the same. Learn. We're here for you. Come and learn. I'm not the only one. The system is full, but you need to change your mindset and come and learn. And if you are young, the best foundation you can give yourself is understanding how music works before you get into stardom. If not, you're in trouble.
Great. Now, did you have any experiences outside Ghana?
Oh yes, I've been privileged to work in 2 or 3 different continents. I think about 15 different countries, working with artists and musicians, fellow artists, musicians, and training. I've been training for 25 years, so it's a big deal. I've been in the Philippines, in the Far East. I've been around the southern African countries, Botswana. I've been around Nigeria, Ghana. I've been in Central Africa. I've had
the experience you've gathered from all these continents and all these countries, what are we missing as, the Ghana music industry? What is it that you think that we are missing, or our musicians are missing?
What we're missing is, we have a big problem. Our biggest secret problem is this: we have an awful lot of recording artists who cannot perform. And the truth of the matter is,
who can perform, as in?
Who cannot perform on a live stage, who cannot sing their own songs on a live stage. And I tell people that, honestly, the office of the singer or of the artist is not the studio or on a music video set, it's on stage. That is where people are willing to pay money to come and meet with you. So if you look good in a video and you sound great after being auto-tuned and mixed, but you cannot sell that same song by your own self with your own voice, then you're not an artist.
Great. Now, when someone walks in front of you and tells you that he's a singer or he's a musician, and he or she starts singing, what are some of the qualities that you look out for?
First of all, you have to have a certain degree of control, a certain degree of understanding of what you're doing. And
control, as in your breath control.
Breath control, your vocal control. You should not, see, there's one thing about singing. It's not just singing. You have to be able to express. You have to be able to convey meaning. You have to be able to convey emotions. So if you sing a song that doesn't convey meaning or feelings, nothing special. Anybody can do that. So it doesn't matter how popular you are, you're still not selling. Your voice must be able to convey and communicate and connect. Then you can sell something with your voice, especially because it's your voice. And there are no two same voices on earth. That's why you should train your voice. You know, the knowledge was a little scarce here earlier, but we're here. We need more artists willing to come through the system and learn how to perform. That's the only way we can meet up with the rest of the world, or else we'll just be playing. We have this local champion syndrome, shooting star.
So you think that it's not about just going to the studio to just record a song and just coming out?
You know, in the old system, before you entered the studio, you would have had to go around and test your music on audiences. It's when they love it, then you record it and give it to them, because they will tell you, can I have this music in my car? Can I listen to it in my bedroom? That's when you record. Sure. Now the system has been reversed, and that's why we have more problems. So we have a lot of big names who know nothing, who are earning nothing, and who are doing nothing good for the society. Let's not forget that music is a career, but also the musician is the most powerful and influential force in the system. They can make the children do great stuff. When last did you hear children's song? When last did you hear songs? See, if I tell people that if we decided that we would categorize our music like they categorize movies, most of our music will fall under cartoon and comedy. There'll be no action.
Are you serious? I'm
serious. Check for yourself. I put it out there to people. Check. Categorize our music: action, drama, comedy, cartoon, love, clowning, love, and check how many of our most popular songs fall into any of the serious categories that win the best awards. That's how bad our problem is.
Now, how can we make our music lucrative to the rest of the world?
By raising our standards to meet the same standard they meet. They don't. You just mentioned Jay-Z and the rest of them. Nobody stops. We got information recently about last year's Coachella. Beyonce practiced 8 months for a 2-hour show, and guess how much she was paid? $8 million. Now, she captured the practice and sat down with Netflix and offered it to them, and they gave her $12 million. So for preparing for a 2-hour event, she made $20 million. How many, if we counted all of us artists here, we didn't all put together, we didn't make $1 million last year. But that's it. I'm looking for that artist who will say, let's package something. Let's go through. Our artists need to start showing up on stage so that your fans come to meet you. You need to have an address. That's the only place, because you shot all the nice videos. You've won all the awards. So the next thing is, Charlie, let them meet you. And most of them can't do that because they are not prepared for it.
Do you believe in miming?
Oh no, miming is for children. That's the most elementary form of expression.
So, will you consider someone who does miming as not being a musician or a good musician?
No, he's not, because we might as well just take your video and watch. So it's a form of self-deception. I tell people, I already said this some time ago, that if you mime, you're a fraudster, especially if you're expecting people to pay you for it.
Wow. Now let's come back to content. I know you've listened to a wide range of music, from instrumentation to content to everything. Now, compared to the Western world, I'm still saying Western world because we are looking up to them and we want to match up with that standard. Our content of music, even before we come to production, or we can even combine them, production and content. Do we really have a full package to face the rest of the world once again?
That's why I asked the question, if we were to categorize our music based on content, it's cartoon. Because we're not making music. We only make music for the feet. We don't make music for the heart. We don't make for the soul. We don't challenge people. We don't inspire. We don't motivate. It's very hard to hear great content because everybody is busy creating content. Music for the feet, we doesn't necessarily need content because the music pretty much sells itself. If you put a lively rhythm together, it sells itself pretty much. Then you create a hook around it and you say you have a hit. Interestingly, the Western world know that right now is the season for Africa, but because we are being lazy, making excuses, being too scared and too proud to learn, they're coming to steal our melodies and going to mix it and selling it back to us. Who's losing? Even
Nigerians who are close to us have taken our high life and now modified it and called it Afrobeat, and they're claiming.
I grew up in Nigeria. Those days, even Fela had to come to record in Ghana for him, at least, to make a statement. So we always knew that, Charlie, you had to come this way, for you to make that statement. But when I moved here, I came back here, I was surprised at how unserious people were with the rhythms and the harmonies and the melodies, and we just play with everything, unfortunately.
So with content, you think that we are lacking content?
Oh, plenty, 80%.
And production?
Production is not bad, but you see, there's no balance. If there's no balance, then you can't really market it that far. It's like, it's like Indomie versus spaghetti.
Yes, one is heavy. Now, in 10 years to come, do you think that you're going to have musicians in Ghana matching up like the history of Sibisa came to do?
My greatest fear, and I've written it before, my greatest fear is if we're not careful, in another 10 to 20 years, the music of this generation may be missing it from the annals of history because they don't have a lot of content. If music is able to outlive its makers in the previous generations, and right now music doesn't last more than 90 days, then we may not be found in the annals of music history.
Now, one thing that I find very disturbing is anytime I pick a song from Kojenshi Amache de Osibisa, it still sounds like it was recorded today. Now you listen to the new generation or the new folks, and the song comes in the system, and within a few months it's out of the system. What can be done to solve or to rectify this?
They should stop rushing. Music is like any other thing. If you want to make a jollof rice, there are procedures. The meat has to boil for a certain number, a certain amount of time before you put this. Because even if you have all the whole ingredients and you decide to boil all of it together, it may come out looking like jollof rice, but it may not taste like jollof rice. There's time. Put the right things, one at a time. Many of the songs they release as hits or whatever because they can pay payola for it to be played on and rotated on airtime, and people don't know any better anyway, so they just accept. It's not ready. It's demo.
So the names that are making waves, the mainstream artists, I mean, you don't like any of them?
No, I know, I like them. I appreciate some of the things they do. But then the thing they should be doing now, when last did you hear one of our new young big name artists go on a world tour?
No, but the question is that anytime you put this question across, they all talk about the financial factor.
No, sometimes if you check very well, if you do your homework, the people come to you. The festivals.
And I agree with you because Riella,
thank you.
amazing. I mean, this lady's touring and it's people coming in for her.
We worked with. We worked with her. You see, so if you work hard enough, you will be noticed. Especially because there's a drought of great stuff.